I'm attacked with B. Don't bet too much there. Hello, my relatives. Today is a good day. Last week I told you about our trip to the UN, and we're still there. We're here. Point being is, I want to talk to you about Libya. I'll give you a report on the UN in a couple more weeks, after we come back and do our thing with communicating with the rest of the reservations. Libya. Admittedly, every dictator is a despotic leader. But among all the despotic leaders in the Arab world, who were used and abused by the United States of America for their wishes on how to deal or not deal with Israel. That's part of the equation, as we all know. But more importantly, let's take another look at Libya. Libya puts out about 2% of the oil of the world. It's not much, 2%. Yeah? It's not a major factor, in other words, the oil. And they don't have that. They have the least amount of oil among the Arab states. So it's questionable about the oil. The United States of America puts out more oil than Libya. So that certainly is not a major issue. But let's look at Gaddafi and his Libya and his despotic ruling. First of all, in all of the Arab world, the Libyan people have the highest education. They're the most educated of all the Arab nations. Number two, they have the highest standard of living among all the Arab nations. The highest, that includes Saudi Arabia, the highest standard of living for the entire population. They were the best educated. Their students were financed into universities all over the world. So it wasn't a closed society. Also, its Libyan law was that when a couple got married, they got the equivalent of $50,000 from the government. Wow! Just with those facts alone, it makes you wonder who these rebels are. I mean, admittedly, he's a dictator. But with all these proven benefits, why couldn't he have a little bit more patience? He's not going to live forever. And of course, there's the way to do it like Egypt did it. And of course, Yemen, which has no oil, and is a key ally of the United States as a bulwark against the fearsome enemy. And then there's Syria, that also has no oil. They both killed a lot more civilians. And Bahrain, where the U.S. naval base is, that has no oil. All three of those countries have been worse to their people than Libya, and right now are killing civilians left and right, torturing them left and right. It's amazing. So what is it about Libya? Well, China had a lot to do with working with Libya. China needs oil. They're making deals, and they helped. Oh yes, this is the thing. The largest man-made river in the history of the human being was brought forth by Gaddafi. Their underground aquifer in the southern part of their nation was tapped. It made that river was going to turn a desert green, man-made desert. With that, of course, was coming the coming of a lot of wealth that China was going to participate in. So the hegemony was with China, not with the United States or Europe. Also, Gaddafi was unifying Africa. Because his people had full employment, by the way. Full employment his people had. So much so that they had to bring in immigrants. And Gaddafi, being colorblind, was bringing in a lot of Africans, a lot of Chinese, a lot of Filipinos, a lot of Pakistanis into working in, hundreds of them, thousands. But he was also bringing the African Union into an economic unit like Europe is. That was one of his hopes. The holdout was South Africa on that deal. At any rate, it's amazing what was forthcoming out of Libya, and now it's no more. It's no more. When that river's been completed, by the way. And the benefits from that river are just about to take place. Another economic miracle was going to take place in northern Africa. As I said, all dictators are despotic, but to what degree? The degree of Mubarak, Assad, Saleh, etc., etc., etc. So I think, and I believe, the best thing you can do to stay informed is subscribe to the Rock Free Press out of Washington, D.C., along the Potomac. The Rock Creek Free Press. The Rock Creek Free Press, I believe it is. This will keep you up to date. They have columnists, well-known, very well-respected columnists from all over the United States, from the Reagan administration and from the Clinton administration, writing editorials and columns. And they have from the Times, from the Guardian, from all the newspapers of the world, accredited and well thought out reporters. So it's not just a wild leftist or pinko or right-wing rag. It's an astute newspaper. The Rock Creek Free Press. So I just wanted you all to understand that what you find out in America is largely either glossed over or ignored. Now, most of you, I grant, already know this. So spread the word. Spread the word. Now, one wonders, this country is in such dire economic straits. One wonders why they opened up a fourth front, a fourth war. Well, we just found out some of the reasons. And this is what puzzles me about that Libyan war. They want to cut out of the education budget $1/3 billion, over $300 million out of the education budget to balance the budget, or to get the deficit down, and all of that political talk. But the first 2 days, when the United States was bombing Libya, they sent 20 cruise missiles. Cruise missiles into Libya. That's a cost of $320 million. What's going on here, America? What's going on? You know what's going on. Do something about it. It's just not right. But that is your problem. There's a Republic of Lakota. We're trying to lift ourselves out of genocide. And I hope you will too. Dokshake.